So let's wrap up our discussion of the Pine and Gilmore book by talking about finding your role in the world. One of the emphases in the summary of Pine and Gilmore's book is the notion that you are what you charge for. So what are we charging for in our business? And what should we be charging for? If you charge for stuff, you're in the commodity business. If you charge for specific brands and get a premium for them, you're in the goods business. If you charge for purchasing a set of intangible activities carried out on behalf of the customer, you're in the services business. If you charge for the time spent, you're in the experience business. If you charge for the achievements of your customer and how you have transformed them, you're in the transformational business. Let me give you a quick example. Here are the current prices for MBAs, the top 9 MBAs and UNLV here. You'll notice that most of the top MBAs, the 2-year tuition for them is somewhere between $110,000 and $95,000. An MBA at UNLV costs approximately $18,875. There is a little lesson in pricing here. The perception of how good your product or experience is evaluated by customers is in part influenced by the price. It goes back to the notion that everyone has that good things aren't cheap and cheap things aren't good. So here's my MBA, Wharton, and UNLV example. An MBA from Wharton and an MBA from UNLV are both MBA degrees from AACSB accredited schools. So theoretically, they are comparable in terms of educational content and in terms of economic value. So then why can Wharton charge $108,000 in tuition compared to UNLV at $18,000 in tuition, or nearly 6 times less? Well, they are the same service, but they are very different experiences. For example, starting salaries for the Wharton MBA graduate is around $175,000, and a UNLV MBA starts out with a salary of around $51,000. So even employers believe that there is a difference in value and experiences. In this case, it's an educational transformational experience. Employers believe that Wharton MBA graduates are better prepared to help the organization to be successful than UNLV MBAs. So let's talk a little bit about this notion of the keys from the Pine and Gilmore book. The number one key is always identifying the core experience. That is, what are we charging for? Second, you need to stage truly engaging experiences and think about those 5 senses. In the next book that we're going to be reading, the Bernd Schmidt book on experiential marketing, we're going to talk about ways to enhance experiences. Third, be able to tell the story. What is the story of the UNLV MBA? What is the Wharton MBA story? Next, you have to be able to manage the customer experience. Rehearse the actors, evaluate performances, make them better, build sets, direct the actors, and of course, make it memorable. Some additional keys from Pine and Gilmore. Experiences that offer functional benefits are not experiences at all, but rather services. The key, once again, is the core experience. If you don't understand the core experience, it will be difficult to maximize it. Many lasting experiences are actually a set or a series of experiences that evolve over time. The experience is when a customer is immersed in the moment. The way you avoid competition is to enhance the experience, not add services or reduce price, but get to the core experience and enhance it. You need an understanding that the customer decides how the experience will unfold. You enhance the experience, The customer personalizes it. Some of Jack's keys on experiences. Experiences is all about the time spent. Was it worth the time? Experiences need to be memorable. Some experiences are so engaging and impactful that the staged event changes the individual. They will never be the same. Now, we know about that in terms of education, those sorts of things, but there are other things. For instance, perhaps if you play golf at Pebble Beach, it might change you forever. I remember the first time I was in Washington, D.C. and saw the Vietnam War Memorial. Now, I've had friends who were killed in Vietnam during the Vietnam era and the Vietnam War. And so when you go and see that war memorial and see those names etched on that wall, it is transformational. Of course, another example is taking this course.